Sorry.
We are back, and we've had quite an interesting commercial break here. And it is two separate ways of thinking and looking at things a little bit. Do you want to talk a little bit about what went through your mind?
This is about being dads today. No, I just think it's interesting how it's true, men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and listening to what you guys are saying, and I took a little bit of, I was startled at the fact that when you come home that you needed to have your 5 minutes to decompress when, you know, you're home all day with the kids from morning to night, you're doing carpool, you're taking them to practice, you're doing the homework, you're cleaning the house, you're doing the laundry, you're buying groceries, you're cooking dinner, you get the kids from school, they come home, they have to do the homework, you have to give them the bath, and you come through the door, oh, wait a minute, I need 5 minutes to decompress. I'm sorry.
Then I have a question.
That's because he's going through a decompression chamber. He's been out in the world. He's been out in the world, which you've been a professional most of your life.
Right.
And he's coming in, and he's coming from a wholly different world. So some need that time. Mine was just the reverse. I couldn't wait to see my kids.
Right.
They were my decompression.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever it was.
But I do. I mean, I know when
I
you.
respect
we
that.
have
I
talked,
respect
we
how
have
you
talked
feel. I'm not saying
extensively
it's
about
wrong.
how when we come home, how exhausted we are, how we just sort of like need to shut.
But home
things
is
down.
a different rhythm for me.
Right.
And I'm out, you know, to describe what I'm dodging bullets and diving into potholes and solving other people's problems, and I'm doing the equivalent of that. I mean, both jobs are significant and necessary, but home has a pace that is very different than work. And to come in from work where I've just been doing this all day, I needed time to slow down into that pace. And I'm a better father for it with my children because I've let go of that sort of like, and I now can sit there and go, okay, what are you doing? Oh, that's interesting. This is fun.
So let me jump into this, and because I'm curious to see, as both of you, your kids are much further down the road than I am. As a second child, growing up in the household, and now raising two boys, I'm very conscious of what it was like for me growing up, having the hand-me-downs, being the sort of second child to get the car, to have that experience of homecoming for the first time. And you look at photo albums around the country and you see a ton of pictures of the first child and then a few of the second, and if there's a third, there's like maybe a pencil drawing of them going, this is what I think you looked like when you were 4. So how do we avoid that pothole?
There's only one way. You're aware of it. You have to force yourself to do it. And it doesn't mean you don't love your second child, but you have to force yourself to take those extra photos, to make sure that when they come home with the first drawing from kindergarten, that you put that up on the wall. You just have to force yourself. I don't know any other way to do things.
I think that there's sort of an equal time for everybody. You know, our family operates under the edict that we have 100% maximum love in our family, and everybody gets the maximum. So there's never any measuring. And in the not measuring, you know, one of the things that I was going to say to you is that I have experience with a friend who was a first child who was displaced by a second child in her mind. And so as she was raising her children, she decided she was going to give more attention to her first child so that they didn't feel that the second child had eclipsed them. Well, you know, at age 23, that first child is on a psychotherapist desk, a couch, saying, you know, my mom always treated me differently. She always made me, I never got treated the way the other kids were treated, who were twins. So I think that there has to just be a natural flow and a natural balance to the way you treat your kids. When you have a second child, you have the experience that you had with the first child that informs you in what you're doing. So if you're signing up for AYSO and you know not to stand in this line because you did it with Greggy, then you go to the other line.
Yeah, but please, 8 children later, you're exhausted, you've run out of film. The clothes have been worn
But
out.
I'm only 33.
So
it ages you.
you don't look a day older.
But don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you do, like I only have 2, but you have 7 children, you have 8, you're 4, right?
Yeah, and our daughter, who's the youngest, said to me last year when she got into college, I've never gotten a new computer. In my whole life, I've never gotten a new computer. I always get somebody else's computer. Now, she's a girl, so she gets her own wardrobe, thank goodness. But the bottom line is that, yeah, it sort of works that way. The sons got hand-me-down clothes, but special occasions were where they had to get dressed up simultaneously. Then they got new outfits. And I think that it's just the reality. We name them alphabetically. They're aware of their birth order. We solve the problem of who gets to sit in the front seat and who gets to sit, you know, choose the music station.
I'm hearing him say, don't overthink it.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
You know, It's going to happen, but you do have to.
But do you have
force
to be
yourself-
aware?
Yeah,
What you're saying
and you
is
are.
be present
You
with
are,
the
Mark.
second.
Right, but don't vocalize
take it too
Don't
far.
turn it into your kid's neurosis.
Yeah.
That oh, I'm the second child, so I never get to experience things for the first time with my dad. Because
Remember
he
when you had the
experienced
third child and you sold? That
I was bad from
Or
the get-go.
endeavor to have experiences with your second child that you didn't have with your first. Try and do some
I'm
different
so worried
things.
about you coming home at night, walking through that door. No, but
Honey, don't hand me that
how
kid.
important is it though for communication between the spouse and the husband to make sure that because you got to keep order in the house and the relationship intact.
Absolutely critical. It's primary. That's
See, you're ready to jump all over him.
Oh no, I'm not jumping on him.
No.
I'm asking
As
you.
your husband.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when he comes home, it's up to you as part of the twosome to understand he needs that compression time.
Right.
See, and I know
Well, and
you,
I understand
Christine.
that you've been cooking and cleaning and shopping all day long, so I respect that part of the job that you do.
You said something though very interesting in the beginning of the because I know we have to go. That you said you have not an old-fashioned way of thinking about things now, but I noticed that a lot of young fathers, a lot of fathers today, they're more involved in give a lot of men out there due respect for being a father, provider, and a spouse.
Because guys
And they-
today don't work quite as hard. The younger people, it's true. It's true.
But
Well,
do
I
you
think
know
that
what I'm
the
saying about
society
the men today
values-
are more involved in the family,
I
the
think
home
society
life?
is
Their
valuing.
business doesn't mean as much to them. So they're more balanced.
Well, I think society's, if you looked at the Oscars, all those guys thank their moms.
Their moms and
they
their
thank
brothers
their
and
wives
their
and their
sisters,
kids. Well,
yeah.
nobody did that a decade
Right,
ago.
right.
And I think that the role of a father is
Yeah.
becoming much more of an accepted thing for a male to do. It's
Right.
part of your manliness.
Right.
And so that has changed.
Right.
We have to step away because if she snorts one more time in this show, that's the third one. We're at the limit. We're maxing out. Thank you so much.
God, we
Come
could do a
back. I
whole
could sit
show
and
on
talk
this.
so
I
much
love
about
this
dad
subject.
stuff. I think it's so important. Richard's book available on Amazon.com, and you can visit his blog. It's called CommonSenseDad.com. I think you're doing great things, and I love that it's common sense.
Yes.
I love that it's common. Thank you, Woody, for being here.
Thank you.
Where's your scooter? You'll never get out of here. Oh, we took it.
We took it. We took your scooter.
You know what? Debbie may have you pulled over if you're on your scooter.
Oh my gosh.
Debbie?
We can't. When we come back, I'm going to show you my mother's and my father's famous moussaka recipe from my upcoming cookbook, and maybe we'll Greek dance. Where are my tomatoes? Oh, thank you.